Hi guys, it's Tell with Oshawa Bushcraft. It's August 2nd today. I am north of Buckhorn, Ontario. We're getting ready to go for a off-trail Crownland hike in the middle of nowhere today. And while I'm waiting for the other half of my party to get here, I spot some Staghorn Sumac growing literally on the side of the highway here. And this is my choice, my top choice for making a wild tea in the bush. And it grows like a weed out here, but not so much out in the bush. It likes edges of fields and sides of the highways. So we're going to collect some here, and we're going to take it with us and make some tea later. So for right now, we're just going to cover identifying it and collecting it, and then we'll do the tea once we get back and make some camp somewhere. Now, when I tell people I drink Staghorn Sumac tea, they get weirded out by it, and they're like, what about poison sumac? What about it? It's another plant that happens to share the same name. This is an easy plant to identify. It is a very unique plant in southern Ontario. It's the highway. It's got those staghorn-shaped red berries that point up the top of it in the air. You could spot this from literally a mile away, growing in a group somewhere. Poison sumac will have yellow berries, and they will face down. So if you can tell the difference between yellow and red, or if you know the difference between up and down, you can easily identify this apart from poison sumac. It's that easy. Red and up, you're safe. Yellow and down, poison. But anyway, let's collect some of this, and then we're gonna get back in the bush. All right, guys, this is our sumac here. What we're gonna do, take our knife, and we're gonna take a slice of this bark. We're going to shoot for a piece about 1 inch wide and about 1 foot long. That didn't work. Well, that's our piece right there. Now, if we want to, midsummer, this outer bark usually separates pretty easily, and we just need the inner bark. But in the winter, they're stuck together pretty good, and they don't want to separate, but that's fine. You can use the outer bark too. It's not going to hurt anything. So I'm going to stuff this in my foraging bag, and we're going to make tea later. All right, guys, we made it to our camp. We found our lost lake. Fire's going. We're getting started on lunch. We're doing water first because we're both dehydrated. Tea's up first too. We don't have a 1 liter bottle with us today, so we're using 2 canteen cups. So I've divided our bark into 2 pieces. Now, for this series, I kind of created an average. I mentioned it in the burdock video, but we're doing roughly the size of your finger worth of whatever we're making tea out of. So if it's a bark, you know, reference that amount of bark. If it could be powdered, something we're going to grind up. Again, just kind of picture like a tablespoon. If it's leaves, you know, stack up enough leaves to get something about the size of your finger. So that's just the average we're using to make things simple. And with that, 1 liter of water, 20-minute boil time. It's pretty much our average for everything. Some of the leaf stuff will only be steeped. We'll get to that later. So these guys go in the water. And when we reach a boil, we'll time out 20 minutes. Now, while I got you here though, I mentioned to you, Sumac is my favorite tea. I never read about any clinical trials, but it is rumored to have antimicrobial, antibacterial, antifungal properties that it like instills in us. And that probably makes sense because it's such a tenacious tree, it's resistant to everything. You know, it has the ability to pass that along to us if you make a tea out of it. The other great thing about it is it's considered a weed. People don't really want it. It grows on the edges of fields and on the side of the highway, so it's easy to get. It's not like a flower on the side of the mountain somewhere you got to go find. It grows everywhere. And because you're making it from the bark, you can make it year-round. You know, everything here in Canada is seasonal. We get, you know, sometimes a week to go hunting or 3 months of good weather a year, but in the middle of winter, you can go get this. So that's why it's my favorite. All right, guys, our tea got its 20 minutes on the fire and then time to cool. It's cool enough for us to drink it now. This stuff came out a little different. It normally turns like a light green color. We got almost brown out of this, like a regular tea. It probably has to do with our water source here. The water is It's all the softwoods around it make it kind of a rust color. It's nice and clear and everything. It has that color. Normally I describe this tasting a little bit more like a green tea. Today, I don't know if it's the trees I use or the water from here. It tastes more like regular black tea, but it's very sweet for a tea. Like you certainly do not have to add any sugar to this. What did you think of it?
I thought it was pretty good. Mine had a lot of ash in it. Hard to pin down the taste, but yeah, it was a sweet tea, and I'd definitely make it again.
So that's why it is my top pick. You're not going to find it up here, but down in the south we find it a fair bit. So yeah, Sumac Bark Tea. It's number 2 in our series. I don't know what number 3 is going to be yet, so stay tuned. Thanks for looking, guys.